A-level binomial expansion. Well, general binomial expansion to be specific, and you'll see why in a second. Check the comments to see the full question. We're just doing part A. So, we want to use the general binomial expansion to show that the square root of 1 plus 4x over 1 minus x is roughly equal to this thing here. The first problem we have is the form this is in. We have a fraction, so we're going to want to split it, and then we will work with it. So, firstly, this is equivalent to 1 plus 4x to the 0.5 over 1 minus x to the 0.5. So all I did there was said the square root of that over the square root of that, but then put it in indice form. We are then going to rewrite the new denominator as a power to a negative, such that we are left with this. Perfect. Now we can do the general binomial expansion. So let me get a different colored pen. I'm going to write it on the board because it is something you need to get into the habit of knowing. So 1 plus ax to the power n will give you 1 plus ax times n plus n minus 1 for 2 factorial ax squared plus n minus 1 n minus 2 over 3 factorial ax cubed. What I want to highlight to you is this term, and this term. Notice how they're in brackets. They're not just there to make it look cute. They have real life implications, and you'll see in a second. So, use your brackets, otherwise you will lose marks. So let's start off with this one. It is in the correct form, it is 1 plus or 1 minus x, so we can carry on. It needs to just always start off with a 1. So 1 plus 4x to the half will be 1 plus 4x times 0.5. I prefer using fractions, so I'm going to use fractions. If you want to use decimals, go for it, but it probably is harder, but it means you can put it in calculator a little bit easily. And then we've got n, which is a half, n minus 1, which is negative a half, over 2, because 2 factorial is just 2 times 1. And then here, we've got 4x squared. If you write 4x squared, you're going to forget to square the 4. You will lose a mark. And then you'll come to this part of the answer and be like, oh, they don't match. Then try to find your mistake. It'll take you 3 minutes longer than it needs to, and then you're going to lose time on a harder question. So, brackets are important. And then let's just simplify this a little bit, which is 1 plus 2x plus, we have minus a quarter divided by 2, so that's minus an eighth, times 16, which is minus 2x squared. Cool. Moving on to the next one, which is 1 minus x to the minus a half. This one should be easier, so I will speed through it. We're left with minus x to the minus a half plus minus a half minus 3 over 2 over 2 and then minus x squared. Again, you're squaring the minus sign as well. If you don't put the brackets in, you will forget. In this case, it doesn't make a difference because it will disappear. But in the case of cubics, it was when you're going to start noticing it. Now time to simplify. So that's 1 plus a half x. We got positive, positive, positive. So that's positive. That's going to give you 3 over 4 divided by 2, which is 3 over 8. So it's going to be 3 over 8x squared. And what I've noticed I've done wrong, and what hopefully you guys have shouted at me for in the comments, is this here. This was dividing, and I put plus. It is supposed to be multiply, because it's multiplying with 1 over that. So now, down here, we are going to do 1 plus 2x minus 2x squared multiplied by 1 plus a half x plus 3/8 x squared. So you're going to get a quartic term and a cubic terms. You can ignore those because they don't care about that in the answer. So only things we need to focus on, and we'll just do this with a blue pen. We need to do the 1 times 1, to do the 1 times half, we need to do this, we then need to do this, and we need to do this, and we need to do this. Because they're the only terms that are either going to give us a constant, an x, or an x squared. So 6 terms altogether. So let's start. We get 1 times 1, 1 times a half x, 1 times 3/8 x squared, 2 times 2x times 1, 2x times a half x, which is x squared, and then minus 2x squared. So we're left with 1, and I'm going to use a different pen. A half x and 2x gives us plus 5/2x, and then 3x squared plus x squared is 11x squared, minus 16 is minus 5/8 x squared. So that is that question done. Like I said, part B and C are in the comments, and remember, when you're testing for validity, make sure you look for the bounds that this is valid for, and look for what that is valid for. Let us know what you thought of this question. If you do want us to go through part B and C, just let us know in the comments.